Okay, so we're going to review solving systems for your final exam. There are 3 methods to solving systems. The first method, is graphing. The second method is substitution. And the third method is elimination. So when we look at a question, we have to decide which one of these 3 methods would be the best method to use or the easiest, and that's the one we have to go with. So I'm going to help you determine which one is the easiest. So when you look at number 1, you notice that both of the equations say y equals, which is good. Those are definitely easy to graph. So graphing is one option, but if you look at the equation on the right, there's a fraction. That's going to be something we want to graph because nobody wants to solve with a fraction. So we're going to graph those. So I would say that number 1 could be solved best by substitution. So what we're going to actually do is we are going to take a look at this equation and we're going to circle what y equals, and y also equals this, and we're going to take those 2 parts and set them equal and solve for x. So we're going to take the 6x minus 4, I'm going to move all the way down here, and I'm going to solve substitution. So we're going to take the y equals 6x minus 4, and we're going to take the 4x plus 2, and we're going to solve by substitution. So we're definitely not using elimination. Okay, so we're going to do exactly what I just did. We're going to circle the 2 things that equal y, and we're going to set them equal to each other. So we're going to do 6x minus 4 equals 4x plus 2. So we have to solve. We're going to subtract 4x. 2x minus 4 equals 2. And we're going to add 4 to the other side. So 2x equals 6. Divide by 2. X equals 3. Now I know you always want to stop here because you found x equals 3. But remember, we're looking for a place that this line in green crosses the line in blue. So we only found the first point. So what we need to do is we need to take that answer. We need to take the 3. We need to plug it into one of these 2 equations. So I'm going to plug it into the second one. 4 times 3 plus 2. I plugged it in. I get 12 plus 2, which is 14. So this crosses at 3 and 14. And it's a good thing that we didn't graph because I bet you 14 doesn't even fit on that graph. Nope. So substitution was the best method. Okay. Now let's take a look at the other one. We talked about how fractions are best to be graphed because we know this. We know that m equals negative 1/3 and we know that b equals 3, which means I'm going to go down and right. Down because it's negative. Okay, so let's start with that. I'm going to start at 3. Let's zoom in on this. I'm going to start at 3. And I'm going to go down 1 and right 3. Down 1, right 1, 2, 3. Keep going all the way through. And I'm going to go this way too because we want to be accurate. We're looking for where they cross. And if we're graphing 2 lines, it's even more important to be accurate because you're looking for where they cross. Oh, that was just awful. Sorry. I don't know how to fix it. Okay, let's take a look at the other one. The other one is a pain because we needed to say y equals. So the first thing I need to do is get that 2x onto the other side. Now I can't put the 2x with the 18 because they're not the same family. They don't go together. So write it mx plus b. Divide by negative 3. So y equals 2/3 because, just remember, a negative and a negative becomes plus a positive. Same thing here. So it's 2/3 x plus 6. So m is 2/3, and B is 6. So we're going to start at 6, and then we're going to go up 2, right 3. So we're going to move in on this graph here and start at 6. I'm going to go up 2, right 3, or down 2 and left 3, and look at that. We found out where they cross. Now we're not done there. We need to name this point. So what is this point that they have in common? It's -3 and +4. Okay, so let's go back here. We don't need to worry about our table because we graph using M and B, but we definitely need to say -3 and +4. And what did we have over here? 3 and 14. Let's add that in. Okay, so this is what we have on the first page. Question number 1 was best solved by substitution, and question number 2 was best solved by graphing. Okay, moving on. Here we go. Number 3. This equation is best solved using elimination because the x's line up, the y's line up, and the number is on the other side. That's exactly what we want it to look like. So this is elimination. We need something to cancel. So I noticed that we have a y and a y. So if I multiply the top equation by -1, I'll have a negative y and a positive y, and they'll be able to cancel. So this is -2x, -y equals -1. Okay, so the y's cancel out. 4x minus 2x is 2x. 1 minus 1 is 0. So divide by 2. 0 divided by anything is 0. Okay, now remember, we only have this. We still need to find the other value. We need the y value. So I'm going to take the first equation, and I'm going to plug in 0 for x. So when x is 0, what is y? Y equals 1. So my answer is 0, 1. That's where they cross. Now this is not a good way to use graphing because we'd have to make both of them say y equals, and with substitution something needs to say y equals or x equals. So elimination was our easiest method. Okay, when we look at our last question here, the first thing you should notice is that it's a fraction. So our best method is going to be graphing. Okay? So we're going to start with m equals 2/3 and b equals 0 because there is no number at the end of that. So there's no b. B is 0. So that means we're going to start at 0 and go up 2, right 3. So let's zoom in on this. We're going to start at 0 and go up 2 and right 3, up 2, right 3, up 2, right 3. Go the other way. Make sure you're accurate. And connect. Okay, let's take a look at the other graph. We need to make it say y equals. So we have x plus 3y equals -6. So I need to get the y all alone, minus the x. And remember, they don't go together. 6 is a number, x is a letter. They're not the same family. So you just write them both. I'm going to put a 1 in front of the x, so you don't forget that it's 1x. Divide by 3. So this is y equals -1/3 x minus 2. So I'm going to go back over here. M equals -1/3, which means I'm going to go down and right. And b equals -2. That's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to start at -2, and I'm going to go down 1, right 3. So I'm going to start at -2, and I'm going to go down 1, right 3. Or up 1, left 1, 2, 3. So when we take a look at this graph, okay, so what we need to notice is that it crosses at a really bad place. It's -2. I need a color. It's a decimal. -2, -1.5 about. That's our answer. It's okay that it's a decimal. The ones you're going to try on Schoology are not decimals. They're going to give you nice answers. So you're going to open up the which method on Schoology under the exam review, and you're going to decide which method, substitution,